So we're a fourth generation beef to actually we're feed to retail beef farming operation just outside of Chatham in southwestern Ontario. I farm with my wife and my daughter, Teresa. We're really kind of unique because we have our on-farm store, and we actually, the only beef that we sell in our store is raised right on our own farm. So it's completely from birth to beef. The only time that it actually leaves the farm is for a short visit to the abattoir, and then it comes back. So we're really unique in that when a customer comes to the store, they can actually talk directly to one of the people that help produce the beef. They can see it outside in the fields and pastures, which is really kind of unique. And they get a one-to-one experience talking to someone that knows not only how the cattle are raised, but can help them with some cooking ideas and help them make their purchase work for their family situation. So I think that's something we really have unique on our farm. The other thing we can add is we've recently opened up a feed store as well. So now we can offer some nutritional advice. We can offer pet and livestock feed and supplies to anyone who's interested in starting, whether it be a small backyard poultry operation or a larger scale commercial farming operation. We have quite a bit of experience that we can help any of the producers with their feed supplies. I do what I do because I like cattle, and I enjoy the challenges and different things that go along with farming life. We face a number of different challenges. Probably the most significant one is impact from activists and their ability to influence government regulations and rules on things that happen on a livestock farm. So for example, spreading of manure based on smell, so that you can't spread on the weekend just because someone in the neighborhood might want to barbecue. So things like that affect what used to be normal farming practices now are really difficult to do. Or for example, pen space. So we do everything we can to make the utmost comfort for our animals, but we're having some outside influences tell us that here's a set standard that you have to be to, without really regarding what we've been doing for years as an acceptable practice. I do like to travel a bit, so I get some of my ideas from traveling. I like to read, listen and talk to livestock producers from different parts of the country and actually different parts of the world. And I find that interesting and get different ideas that I can use on my farm. So what we've done in the last number of years is we've started grazing cover crops. So we've actually put our cattle out for the winter on pastures that we grow as a cover crop following the harvest of our regular crops. So that's worked out really well. On the retail side, on the beef production side, because we have an on-farm retail, we choose our cattle that go into retail based on ultrasound data. So we'll actually ultrasound the cattle pre-harvest, up to 200 days pre-harvest, and determine which ones are best suited for the store and which ones have the best attributes that will actually be exactly what we want for the store. And that also gives us a harvest date, a predicted harvest date, based on that ultrasound technology. Every farm has different requirements and different things. I think we need to look at researching different ways that we could stay profitable. So I think we need to look at some of the management ideas, and some research needs to be done a bit into benchmarking and to help us improve our bottom line in our businesses. So I think researchers need to be boots on the ground, kind of is the expression that I like to use. I think researchers need to get out on farm and do some on-farm research, working with farmers in more of a team approach, so that instead of trying to do something in a lab or in a research area, that we do actual on-farm research and work with the farmer to come up with the solutions that'll work. And I think those should help not only find practical and workable solutions, I think they'll help get the solutions spread out more. So I guess where I'm going with this is that, so if you have a research plot or a research trial on your farm, your neighbors are more likely to stop by and see what you're doing. And the adoption of that new idea or technology is much easier to uptake if it's something that's happened in your neighborhood or in your area. Then you can see how it will directly apply to your operation. It comes down to dollars and cents. I think most farm business, if not all farm businesses, don't have a budget for research and development. So anytime something new comes up, we run a very real risk that if something goes really wrong, that we could lose a lot of money and put ourselves in a very precarious position by making some big mistakes in a bad way. So I think that's probably the biggest barrier to some new innovation changes, is the fear of the cost of failure. I think our sector, like the beef industry, is going to be facing a lot of pressure. I can see pressure from animal rights activists that want to shut down livestock production. And I see, because of that, a fair bit of red tape and hoops that we have to jump through if we want to stay in the beef business. And I think what may happen is producers are going to get fed up with that and just say, we're not going to raise livestock anymore. We're not going to jump through these hoops. And I think that would be a real shame to lose a valuable part of the ag industry, just because of pressure from some outside forces that we can't contend with. If I could impart just a little bit of my gray hair wisdom here, I think what I would like to see would be researchers to actually come out to the farm and visit. So I'm not talking about a hobby farm or searching something on the internet. I think if you're serious about doing research, you need to go to not just one farm, but several farms. And I think you need to spend some time with the key staff people, the key like the owner, the producers themselves. Spend some actual time on the ground. And I guess I'll go one step further from the boots on the ground comment and say you need to be muddy boots on the ground. So you need to shadow the farmer for a bit in a couple of different seasons, so you see what makes the farmer tick, and then shadow them and listen and talk to them about what issues they have and what issues they need to solve, and then go one step further and ask for advice and solutions. I think the farmers are really an untapped resource for some research, because I think you'll find that, farmers like myself, I don't have a PhD, but I think I'm pretty knowledgeable in the agricultural world. And I think that if you could, as a researcher, work with a farmer as a team approach, then I think we could get more things accomplished, in that the research would be done on farm with a farmer, as opposed to in a lab or a research setting and then trying to adapt it into the real world farming operations. So I think that sort of approach, while it's a little non-conventional to follow somebody around for a few days and spend some time actually with them. I think you could learn quite a bit by spending some time with the farmers, just to see what they, bounce ideas off of them and discuss some possible solutions, identify some cost savings and profit potential. And any of those triggers, I think, would certainly be well received from any producer, and well worth the time that we'd be willing to spend with the researcher, and well worth the time that a new and up and coming researcher could actually get their boots on the ground and spend some real world time and see where the potential is for any research project to go. And I think it could be rewarding for both parties.